Hi, this is Ollie from Your Guitar Academy, and in this lesson we're going to learn how to play the second solo, or the outro solo, from Sultans of Swing by Dire Straits, and it sounds like this. So this is another classic solo. There's lots to think about here, but the great thing about it again is it's following the chords a bit and it's sticking to our usual shapes. So we'll just start by looking at what the chords do, and then we'll look at the individual licks. So mainly the chords are so you could think about it as a sort of a D minor progression for one bar, and then another bar of C, and that's kind of what the chords are following. So first of all, the first lick is this, which is just D minor pentatonic, shape 4. We're on the 8th fret of the B string with a full bend, and then a release down to the 6th fret, up to the 8th fret again, down to the 6th again, and then onto the 7th fret of the G. So okay, and then we're coming into this lick. And what's happening here, this is over the C, so we're switching from D minor pentatonic to C major pentatonic, shape 1. So we do the same first note bend, so it's 8th fret on the B string, and release, but then we're running down this pentatonic shape. So it's 5th fret, hammer onto the 8th and pull off again. Now we're coming slightly out of the shape here. We're doing 7th fret to the 9th fret, hammer on pull off. All of these are hammer on pull off. So 7th to 9th, then back into that shape 1, 5 to 7, hammer on pull off. Next string, 5 to 7, hammer on pull off. Next string, 5 7, hammer on pull off, and then down to the 3rd fret of the S string. So that's 7 to 8 on the B, and then it's 5 to 8 on the B, and then 7 to 9 on the G, and then 5 to 7 on the G, and then it's same on the D, same on the A, and then 3rd fret on the A. Slowly it's then the chords go back into the D minor, and we've got, which is just a shape 4 D minor pentatonic lick. So before we start it, we want to be starting around 3rd finger on the 10th fret of the B string, but we've got this sort of little chicken picking sort of thing. So you just hold the string, don't fret yet with your 3rd finger, just hold it and pick with your thumb and then index finger, so you get this quick muted thing. And then you can pick with your thumb the actual note, so the 10th fret, and then pull off from the 10th fret to the 8th fret. And then we come down to the 10th fret on the G, and then up to the 8th fret on the B, and down to the 10th fret on the G again. And then down to the 7th fret on the G, back up to the 10th on the G. So slowly that's but those little percussive bits sound really nice. Okay, and then the chords changing to a C. So we're doing it's really just running down C major pentatonic, really, shape 2. So the notes are 8th fret on the E string, 10th fret on the B, then pull off to the 8th fret on the B, and then come down to the 9th fret on the G. So So we've got this little run into it as well. So it's a slide up from the 7th fret to the 9th fret on the G string, and then it's hammer on, pull off from the 8th fret to the 10th fret on the G, and then down to the 9th fret on the sorry, that's the B string, and then 9th fret on the G, and then we've got this run there. Okay, so I'll just go through that sort of leading in lick again. So we've done this D minor, then we've got, okay, so that's, then we're into this run. And what we're doing here is, it's coming off of a C major chord or C major pentatonic. I'm going to bar with my index finger the 8th fret on the E and the B string, and my middle finger is on the 9th fret of the G, so that's there. And my 3rd finger is going to come down, up and down from the 10th fret on the B. So it's going to go 8th fret on the E string, 10th fret on the B, pull off to the 8th fret on the B, and then down to the 9th fret on the G. And this is quite hard to get up to speed, this one. The way that I've found works best for this is because we're not going to play it with the pick, because that's how the solo is played on the record, but I'm finding it easiest to do my index finger to pick the E string, and then my thumb to pick the 10th fret on the B, then pull off, and then my thumb again for the 9th fret on the G. So, and then it's just about getting the timing of everything there. But I'm only using index finger and thumb for this. But to get it up to the speed, just take it slow and get it even. Probably a common place where the rhythm of it will go out is for that pull off, because if you're trying to go fast, you might find that you end up doing something like that where you're not letting the first note ring out and you're doing the pull off too quickly. So take it slowly, get it even. Once you can do it comfortably, then start upping the tempo. Okay, so I'll play what we've got to up to there. Next lick is this one, we're back into D minor. Which is another brilliant lick, just D minor pentatonic. So it starts off with a bend on the 12th fret of the G string, and then 10th fret on the B and E. A classic rock and roll sort of. And then coming down to the 13th fret of the B string, pull off to the 10th fret, and then down to the 12th fret on the G. And then do another 12th fret on the G, pull off to the 10th, and then down to the 12th fret on the D. And then we've got, which is 10th fret on the D string, hammer on to the 12th fret on the D, and then it's 10th fret on the G, 10th fret on the B. And what I'm finding it good for this is to do pick with my thumb for the D string, then index finger for the G, then middle finger for the B, and then use my thumb again for that note on the G string. Because it allows me to get across the strings much more quickly than if I was just shooting a pick. And then we've got which is really, it's just the 10th fret on the B string and then up to the 11th fret on the B string. But what we've got these little mutes just before, and I'm thinking about playing like a D minor chord but not really fretting it, so I can so I can get that muted note in before. And then after that, it's a B flat, C-shaped chord again. I'm not really playing it, I'm muting it. So I can get those notes in. Okay, and then, so that's 11th fret on the B string, full bend, and then 12th fret on the E string. Then release that bend, so you're playing the 11th fret on the B string, and then up to the 10th fret on the E string. So we've got okay, so if I come back to this sort of C run, and I'll play it from there. Okay, and now we're into the really fast bit. And again, it's just following the chords. So the first one is, which is all just playing over a D minor. It's playing notes from D minor pentatonic. So what we're going to do is, the main sort of lick and the technique of it starts with the 13th fret on the E string, pull off to the 10th fret of the E string, down to the 10th fret of the B string, and then back to the 10th fret of the E string. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the tricky part is going to be getting up to speed. So I think in terms of your left hand, bar the 10th fret on the B string and the E string with your index finger, and your little finger can do the hammer-on pull-offs, or you could do it with your third finger, whatever's more comfortable, but I think that bar is going to be really important. And to get the technique of this, if we're thinking about that being the first note, I'm plucking that with my middle finger, then the pull off, so I don't need to use finger to pick that string, and then I'm using my thumb to play the B string, and then my index finger to play the E string. So you're going to have, as it loops round, you're going to be playing one note with your index finger and one note with your middle finger. So that might, if that's something you're not used to, that's something that will take probably a bit of practice slower just to get the timing of it. Okay, so after that one, it's the B flat shape, very similar, but now it's going to be index finger on the 10th fret of the E string, middle finger on the 11th fret of the B string, and still your little finger is going to be on the 13th fret of the E string. It's clever, by just moving that one note, is following the chords. And then it shifts up, so as a B flat, shifts up 2 frets to a C, we just shift our shape 2 frets up to a C. And the picking pattern is the same. So with that, you really just take it very slowly. You might find it's easier to work on just one hand at a time. So get the left hand down first. If you're more comfortable with a pick, just practice it with a pick first to get your left hand used to the hammer-ons and pull-offs. Because again, that pull-off could be a bit that's tripping you up, and then just work on the sort of synchronization between your left and right hands and your fingers. And once you've done that, it has a fade out, and we're going back into sort of the same sort of thing. So D minor pentatonic up here, so 15th fret on the E string, 13th fret, hammer on to the 15 again, pull off, and then down to the 15th on the B string, and then do another bend, 15th fret on the E string, and then we're just running down the shape 4 of C major pentatonic. Okay, but that's really in the fade out, so that's much harder to hear. But I would say the main technique part to this to get right is that really speedy bit, and just get really comfortable again with knowing the shapes that he's using. Don't just learn it as notes on or as numbers on the fretboard. Think about it in terms of the bigger shapes. It will eventually make everything much easier. And take it slow, and good luck. I'll see you next time.